I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
He is terrible!
Smacking dudes with his 18-inch meat stick.
I'm going to go quick because I don't give a fuck about anything that's going to happen on Saturday.
Hello, boys! And we're back with the MMA Analysis podcast. Big week coming up. A lot of changes on the horizon. We're going to jump into them in a minute. And with us today, ranking member from Canada, Bradley Trollchuck.
Salute.
What is up, sirs and madams? It's been a while. I know I have my little cameos here and there for 15, 20 minutes, but we got Holiday Monday. You know, I work for the government, so...
Wait, Holiday Monday? Whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
Government workers get Monday off.
Yep.
Nobody else does, Jay. Don't worry.
Yep.
Do you get Friday off, too?
Fuck
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 4-day weekend.
4-day weekends.
Oh, Canada hates working.
Yeah, it's awesome. So
I learned so much from this podcast about Canadian culture. It's probably the best thing I've.
You're welcome, Jay.
I'm getting cultured. I know.
the MMA analysis is the greatest thing for international relations since...
At least for NAFTA.
Definitely better than NAFTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Obviously, and not quite as good as it was 24 hours ago or so, but still got a good card that we're here to talk about, and should be a fun time.
Moving west, Western Canada. New Sean, what's going on?
Still fucking snow out. It's still winter.
Well,
and it's
snowing down. It's snowing in the U.S. too.
That's true. You guys can
You're not
feel
alone.
my pain, so that's good.
Dude, we're supposed to have some storm coming up from Colorado that's going to be between 20 and 25 centimeters, which is like 8 to 9 inches for you Americans over the next, I think it's supposed to be Tuesday overnight. Brutal.
Sweet. Yeah, you guys can have it. I'm chilling.
Yeah, but new Sean, our snow ends this is probably our last storm. Yours is going to continue for another 2 or 3 months.
No, it's usually gone by now. It's a shitty winter.
Yeah. If you say so.
But I can't complain. I got Villanova at the start of the season at plus 2,800 in the final. So hopefully that gets home. But looks like our friend Ben just took Villanova -7. So we'll see how that goes. He's been on a heater though. He's been on a heater. So you never know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's hot right now, dude.
New Sean, you might have to hedge on that.
I already hedged a bunch. Don't worry.
Did you hedge Michigan straight up, or did you take the +7?
I took a little bit of both.
Yeah? Get that middle going?
Yeah, trying to get some middle action. We'll see.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And then moving down all the way to the southern part of the United States, we got the Sodsman. I bet you haven't seen snow in a while.
We actually just got some fucking snow. And
I saw Wesley
The world's coming to an end.
Wesleyan was tweeting out some sweet pictures of his trees and shit, just snow all over the place.
Yeah, we actually got some mix tonight, some rain, ice type shit tonight. So, and then it's going to be 70-something degrees tomorrow, and then it's going to go back down to the 40s or something. Yeah, it's fucking wild. Looking forward to talking the card. Title game's getting ready to start, so might get some oohs and ahs out of me pulling for Nova as well. I don't have that sweet 28-1, but a couple parlays that cash with Nova tonight. And our boy Ben is on a absolute heater. I'm gonna give him a shout.
When you say heater, does that mean 2 in a row?
No,
we're talking 5, 6 in a row. 7,
yeah, it's
maybe?
6
Wow.
it's 6 or 7, dude. Yeah, he went hot, man. So
now
you might want to.
He's bringing respect back to the Cohen family name.
He's a good son. Yeah.
Oof. So, as everyone's heard, Khabib has a new opponent.
Ugh.
I don't know exactly what happened. All I heard, and I know you guys, I said before the show, I want to hear what they're claiming happened to Tony Ferguson. My first thing is I heard he tripped, and they said then he got hurt. Can someone tell me what they're saying and what really happened now?
Take the reins, Wes.
I get pretty much that. I guess apparently he's doing the Herd that show on FS1, and he's on the Fox lot or whatever. And apparently the dude said he was waving at somebody, and a cord got him. Man, I still, dude. I don't know.
You gotta be kiddting me. He was on a TV set and tripped on a cord. Like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone setting up a tripwire.
Pretty much.
But it's like they said he pretty much detached his LCL from his bone, dude. Like, I just have a hard time believing, man, that some athlete like Tony Ferguson literally gets taken out by a fucking TV cord and detaches a fucking tendon off of his leg.
When you see how he trains, you can see how his body might be in rough shape regardless if he's walking around or not. There could be some minor tears going on, a bunch of muscles overcompensating for a bunch of other shit that he's doing wrong. Like, the stuff that he does is just blatantly stupid. So I guess it's funny that tripping over a wire is what caused the end of it, but I'm sure all the other dumb shit that he's done didn't help his body brace himself or anything like that.
I can't picture.
I just want to put all the rumors to rest. I've got a source from inside the Ferguson camp. I'm sitting here in the dark with my sunglasses on right now inside, as Tony does. That's how I got the inside tips with his crew. But one of his favorite exercises. You've seen how he does the sledgehammer on the Bosu ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got this other one. Have you seen his deadlifting form? His deadlifting form is tremendous.
All back.
Tremendous. So what he does is he gets one of his friends, because he's a Mexican. So he's got one of his Mexican friends driving across the border, and he's in the back of the pickup truck on a Bosu ball doing deadlifts. And what happened was, they just hit a little pothole as they were going over the border, and the Bosu ball blew up and just shredded his whole knee, and that's the real story. So they're doing this whole cord thing as a cover up because they know
he gets
MMA
his
fans
insurance money, right?
But yeah, man, it's that pickup truck deadlift Bosu ball thing. It gets you every time.
What side of the border was he on when the Bosu ball blew up?
That can't be disclosed for insurance purposes.
Well, it probably can't be determined either.
I call bullshit on that whole thing. Complete bullshit. You can't tell me any dude that does fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme fucking kicks on a metal pole didn't fuck himself up a week ago.
A metal
You cannot. No shit.
Did you see that video, Jay?
No!
Yeah, he's kicking. They showed video of him
Link
just
me.
straight up leg kicking a pole, a steel pole.
Go find it for me.
You remember the kickboxer scene where old boy's fucking just laying into that column? That's Tony Ferguson, dude, on a fucking steel pole. And this dude's out here trying to say,
it's like the second fucking. It says.
I keep thinking he say like Poe. Like
yeah, like Poe.
Characters came from what's that? Con Air? Was that a Nicolas Cage character? Poe.
It's literally the second video up when you go to YouTube and type in Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson kicking pipe.
I'm gonna take a look.
There you go. I put it in the group chat. There you go.
Tony
Tony Ferguson is everything that's great and awful about MMA all at the same time.
Yeah, he is.
Right,
he is MMA. Look, yeah. Tony Ferguson is fucking MMA.
Let's see.
Goddamn electrical cord my ass, dude.
Yeah.
He's a true martial artist.
True martial artists kick steel pipes.
Exactly.
What the fuck is this?
Khabib doesn't kick any fucking pipes.
What is he doing?
He's kicking a steel pipe?
He's trying to show you.
I know. I'm waiting for him to kick, but he keeps talking. Oh, here we go.
And he's giving it, man.
That seems like a really fucking stupid idea.
Have you ever heard Ferguson speak?
What the?
That's just toughening that LCL, Jay.
And he's like, oh yeah, it didn't even bleed. That's what he says when he kicks it. I was like, oh, right on.
Hey, you never heard of toughening your shin bone?
You gotta kill all the nerves in there, man.
That's right. Never feel anything again.
Yep.
I'm not sure that was real.
Why do you think he had so much success against Edson?
It's like those Japanese on Best of the Best in the snow, waist deep. Doing jabs and shit.
In his shin?
I don't know what the hell he has, but it's not much for brains.
His shin is stronger than a metal plate, Jay.
Okay. He's got the Lex Luger thing going on.
No, you fucking X-ray that dude's head. He's got like a pebble floating around.
Yeah,
like a little pebble just floating around.
I wish Dougie was on here. He'd probably have some Tony stories for us. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a separate interview with him later and edit them in.
You sure Tony just didn't, hit his knee on the metal pole?
Oh.
Come on, Jay. You think a metal pole is going to do that to a man's knee?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So, yes. So, Dum Dum is not fighting anymore. Now we get Max Holloway fighting. Max got steel balls.
Steel balls.
That he does.
Big ball.
Steel balls and pebble brain as well.
He's got titanium pineapples hanging fucking between his legs, dude.
But he's got a pea brain.
Yeah, he's another pebble head motherfucker.
Before we keep going with this, whose interviews are more unintelligible? Tony Ferguson, Max Holloway, or Khabib's in English?
Tony Ferguson.
Ferguson, probably.
Yeah, Ferguson, then probably Holloway, and then Khabib.
I think Khabib talks better than Ferguson and probably writes the English language better than fucking Tony Ferguson.
Who gives a better interview in English? George St. Pierre, Nate Diaz, or Tony Ferguson?
Well, Nate Diaz. Absolutely Nate Diaz.
He's the most intelligible.
You said who gives the best interview.
Oh,
that's
I
a
meant
different question.
I'm sorry. I meant to say who's the most intelligible.
I'm not impressed by your question.
Yeah,
Nate's outstanding on Twitter when this shit happens. Like he is so good on Twitter when this shit happens, dude.
Love that dude.
So
yeah, they got to get him back in the fucking cage soon. Though he's got to fight.
He doesn't want to fight anybody. He only wants to fight one guy, and that guy doesn't want to fight anymore. Apparently he talks about that he's ready to fight, but then he doesn't fight.
But it's all good for McGregor to run around and try to get a big ass payday again, but Nate can't sit back and wait on another big ass payday. I just don't get that.
Exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
aren't they using the excuse that like they couldn't put their biggest star in on 6 days' notice? Like that McGregor Diaz fight wasn't one of the biggest pay-per-views in UFC history on 10 days' notice?
Well, yeah. Nate came in late, right?
Yeah, 10 days though.
But you don't sell pay-per-views in the months leading up to the pay-per-view. You sell pay-per-views in the last 3 or 4 days.
The way UFC runs shit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what dummy actually buys a pay-per-view a week or a month in advance? I never heard of that. Everyone buys it the day of.
You even buy it?
Like the only I kind of get a little bit about not bringing Conor in on 6 days' notice would have been at up in New York because that's some serious ticket prices. That you already sold a lot of tickets for.
Yep.
That you're not selling for Conor, you're selling for Tony Ferguson and Khabib. But man, you got to think you're going to make up quite a bit of that in pay-per-view money if it's McGregor. Ferguson
or McGregor for him to take the fight on 6 days' notice, come back.
Yeah,
that's a huge. They could spin the shit out of that.
That dude ain't training.
No, Connor's on a fucking blowbender right now somewhere,
keeping his weight down low.
He's pissing hot.
Yeah, piss. Absolutely.
That shit is ecto cooler, man. That shit is That shit is gassed up ecto cooler. Okay, it's coming right out of my muffler.
The new PED, Bo. It ain't the marijuana no more, son. They back to that cocaine, man. You got to keep that flight weight down.
And it still doesn't address the thought that he wants no part of Khabib.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. He ain't never fighting Khabib, dude. Never.
I don't think so.
That dude ain't fighting Khabib.
He'll talk about it, but yeah, I don't think so.
But
I mean, I don't expect
this
him
fight,
to come in anybody,
man.
regardless if it's Khabib or not. But
well, that's
Connor's gonna box his next fight. Connor will be boxing his next fight.
Zuffa boxing.
I almost
think that's very possible.
I think he boxes Paulie or somebody fucking on their way out or already fucking retired or something. I could see him boxing Paulie.
Roy Jones.
Roy's a bit big for.
Boom. 3 million pay-per-views.
Like
Roy would do it.
Yeah, Roy
would
know
absolutely do it.
I want to hear your top. Whenever Zuffa boxing actually happens, what will be the 2 fights on the top of the card? Because I think it will be too deep.
Aren't they? But they're going to do something with. I believe it's Al Heyman, ain't it? Aren't they? They're like merging with another promoter and gonna both
do something with Paul Heyman instead.
Yeah,
I think that would be awesome.
So it's the
only way they're getting Ronda back.
It's who their stable of boxers are, of who they're gonna get. I can't remember exactly which promoter they're supposed to do it with, but those guys have their own stable of fighters now. So
yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's another project. Anything else we want to touch on this shit show?
Verdum shit the bed last time. That was 3 weeks ago, but it was still.
Yeah.
And
I haven't even watched that fight.
I really gotta stop betting.
You didn't see that kind of coming mid-fight, though?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the odds were awesome if you did see that, because you could still get like plus 200 on Volkov after like the second round. I'm pretty sure. Third round.
Yeah,
I think
I hedged a tiny bit, but definitely not enough. I still lost.
Yeah, same.
I mean, Volkov's not a bad fighter. I think we have to realize that.
Verdum also pissed that one away. He kind of went all out in that first round trying to finish, and
his eye got real fucked up.
And that didn't help either. Yeah,
which changed how he even said like a week later that he pretty much went all out and gassed himself out. Yeah, he knew his eye was fucked. He couldn't see out of his eye, but still, even coming in that fight, dude, god damn, he looked as bad as he's ever looked. Like physically wise, holy shit, man! I didn't really notice it until the fight. But man, he looked like a fucking sack of shit, dude. Like drug testing is definitely hit him like a motherfucker. Because, dude, he looks like a tub of shit. He looked bad in that fight.
It's true.
He still should have won. Because I mean, fuck, man, that first round, like he looked like Verdum fight. Yeah, I mean, he looked like Verdum fighting Volkov. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but yeah, that eye didn't. Getting his eye fucked up, pretty much that was the end of it. I think he was going to probably gas anyway, but getting his eye fucked up that pushed that up a little bit. Yeah, I'm with you. I lost quite a bit on that shit, man.
I just want to hear different ways for Wes to call Verdum some sort of container of shit.
Fucking plastic, fucking garbage bag full of cottage cheese looking motherfucker.
Shit.
Oh man. All right,
but that was a fun one just because it was over by whatever 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Man, and then the stupidity of what's his name, Ankalaev, getting subbed in the final second.
Oh yeah, that was even worse. Oh my god,
I almost forgot about that.
Somebody say Bearju?
Yeah, 1 second left after getting 10-8 in that round. He gets a sub with 1 second left.
I was arguing with somebody on Twitter too. He tried to bring out the what train, bro, so I know shit on. And he was like, Oh, I was like, there's no way you tap in that situation. You know what I'm saying? You go to fucking sleep. Well, first dude saying, well, he probably didn't know there was 10 seconds left. Dude, he heard the fucking
He wasn't even close to being choked out with 10 seconds left when you.
And I was like, he didn't get locked in until like 6 seconds left, so he had to hurt the fucking clapper. And I was like, it don't matter, dude. You're in the fucking UFC fighting on the biggest stage. You don't fucking tap there. You go to sleep, if anything else. Oh, dude, well, when you're in that situation, trust me, I know. You don't know. I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. I was like, you're some puss then, because you're fighting in the UFC with a second left. You don't fucking tap to no fucking triangle choke.
Yeah, dude. No, if you play any sport and you don't know what time, like how much time is left, you should be playing that sport.
Yep. Shame on you.
That's, even that, if you're a high level fighter and you're tapping to a choke like that with even 5, 10, 15 seconds left, most guys in that, they're going out. You ain't fucking tapping with that much time left. You're gonna see if you can hold out. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how fucking close it is.
There's tons of really chicks disturbing. That go out. That guy should have went out.
And the guy's has a lot of talent too,
Sean.
It's true.
It's like a shame because when you got real talent and then you just, you're just a softie like that. That's no good. No good.
And then you tap to a guy that is literally fucking terrible and is retiring. Dude said he was going to retire, and then he's like, "Oh man, I'm back.
I guess I'll be back." Yeah.
Like how numbskull is the Bear Jew though? Like this dude really thinks that he's back because he fucking got some stuff.
He's gonna get one more paycheck and then he's gonna be done.
Man. Get another $8,000 and get his brains beat in. Yeah, smart motherfucker.
I'll tell you who'll look good though. That kid Danny Henry. I think there's something there.
Yeah. Oh, another Canadian hype train derailed.
I actually picked him to win that.
Oh yeah, great point. Who is the top Canadian fighter really nowadays?
Canadian, though, so.
Who's the top Canadian on the UFC roster now, other than St. Pierre, if you count him on the roster?
Fucking what's his name?
Randall Marcos?
No.
Who's those guys that they want to bring
Arjan Boular.
Who's the dudes that? I see. Yeah,
that's probably
Isn't there like some brothers that are out that fight up in Canada? That
they fight at TKO.
There's two sets of brothers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you forgot the other set of brothers. Who are the French Canadian ones? They're in the same.
The Jourdains.
The Jourdains. They're okay too.
Yeah.
They might even be better than the Laramie brothers.
Yeah, one of them beat one of the Laramies. So.
Yeah, that's right. Too early to tell. There's something there. They might as well be attacked.
There's some hope, Jay. There's some hope.
There's no hope. Just auto fade any fucking Canadian that gets any hype whatsoever, and you will make a lot of money.
I'm telling you.
I'm not sure I can also bet against Cage and Johnson ever again.
Oh,
Jesus.
He did not win that fight.
Yeah,
he's the best Canadian on the roster. There you go.
I mean, he's got 2 legitimate wins now.
They're not legitimate.
He didn't win that fight.
Well, he did beat Adriano Martins.
Yeah, but the last one isn't.
In a fight he was getting his ass whooped into.
And the last thing to touch on, is Jimmy Manoa just toast now? I think we have to believe that, right?
I mean, he never.
USADA got on that job, and that was that.
A USADA job on that?
Yeah.
I never thought much of Manoa anyway.
Well, he was a heavy hitter.
When you're getting tagged and fucked up by Jan Blachowicz, it's not a good sign.
Yeah, when you get up to this though, man, that I don't know. Most guys got a little power, but the good ones got a chin too, and he just can't. He can't take them.
Nope.
You're getting pieced up by fucking Jan Blachowicz like that.
Jan was a solid KSW veteran. Never, you got to believe in the KSW, right, Brad?
He's cost me a little money the past couple years. I keep not believing that guy, and that motherfucker's won a couple big fights.
He's only 35.
If I bet all of my underdog picks on that card instead of just going huge on Verdum, I probably would have had a pretty decent card. But hey, MMA.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Hey.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been no Bellator like him forever, too. What were they thinking when the UFC was on? You thought they could have had some events, but...
No, then they come back this weekend and bring us fucking Benson Henderson and
that's this weekend?
the street fight king.
Raja.
Yeah.
Oh. Two MMA icons, as the ad says.
Hey, Huerta's the first MMA
on Sports
fighter
Illustrated.
on Sports
I know.
Illustrated cover.
I know.
He's an icon.
Yep.
He's a
What
pioneer.
year was that?
2007?
Something like that.
I would see on the
That
cover.
2006.
What was the point?
Yeah, those are.
It was when he had his fun fight with Leonard Garcia.
Yep.
He threw like a front kick. They got a good picture of it. Threw it on. No, it was UFC 67.
Wow. They said that he's the face of MMA.
I don't think they said he was
No,
the face. It was just his picture was used on the cover.
He just happened to be the picture they used.
Yeah, talking about something to do with MMA, but yeah.
Interesting.
Your tough noobs, Werder's he's a pioneer, dude. MMA pioneer.
That's right.
Dudes had better street fights than he's had in fucking MMA fights in the past fucking 5 years.
Jorge Masvidal's definitely had better street fights, that's for sure. Yeah. I guess we should move on to the to the card of the week. Maybe the best card of the year.
WrestleMania?
Right?
It's a really good card. Yeah.
Hey, WrestleMania has two of the three biggest stars, or two of the, possibly the top 5 stars in MMA all time.
There's rumors McGregor's going to show up at WrestleMania.
Jeez,
That's not. That is true. That is true, though, Brad.
With throw GSP and Chuck, GSP and Chuck, and you got everybody. You're good.
Top 5 right there.
Yep.
WWE literally running out 2 bigger stars on their show, 2 bigger MMA stars on their show.
Then the biggest UFC card of the year.
We've gone full circle, Brad.
Oh my goodness!
True. Man,
MMA is pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is MMA.
Yeah, it is. I still don't get wrestling fans that don't like MMA. I'll never understand them. Are they afraid of blood or something?
No, they hate it when the bad guy or when the wrong guy wins. It's not how this was supposed to go.
That's what Dana says too.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, or no, he just says we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And stupid and fat guy voice, but yeah. So UFC 223 live from Brooklyn, 13 fight card. And they start off with, the greatest living American, Kyle Bochniak.
Let's go with bravest living American.
Yeah, he is brave because he's the only one who would take a fight against number 1 prospect in Dagestani MMA, Zabit Magomedsharipov. Brad, is this anything but an ass kicking?
No, we talked about this. I think I was actually on the show for about 20 minutes when this fight was booked, and we said minus 2,000, probably a fair line. So
yeah,
we got less than half of that. So that's not a bad sign.
It's probably not.
But yeah, he's got a style on him. Bochniak is terrible.
Yeah, he is. New Sean.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see Zabit not destroying Bochniak. Bochniak hasn't been finished. His 2 losses have both been by decision, but I think that ends here. I think Zabit's able to grab a sub after styling on him for a round or 2.
You guys heard me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm back.
Sounds like you're doing some construction over there.
Yep.
Or running.
No, West doesn't run.
Yeah.
Sosman is never in a hurry to get anywhere.
He's on his lawnmower then.
Oh.
All right, Wes, tell us about Zabit Magomedsharipov and why he's going to destroy Bochniak.
Yeah, man. Zabit's one of the best young fighters, I think, in the sport right now, man. Very exciting fighter. I just think Bochniak is kind of going to be a standing target here, man. Zabit should be able to style, man. Show off a little bit. I think he gets a finish here. Bochniak he doesn't throw, man. I think Zabit's gonna throw about 300 strikes at him in this fight, and hopefully get some kind of highlight reel finish. That's what I'm hoping for. I think it happens. Zabit inside the distance.
I got Kyle Bochniak at D and Zabit Magomed-Sharipov at B+. Bochniak is just outclassed in every single facet here. If Zabit wants to strike with him, he'll strike with him. He wants to take him to the mat, I'll take him to the mat. He can do either, and he's got a significant advantage in both those areas, plus offensive wrestling as well. Have the submission game, the strike. It's a complete mismatch, and the only reason it's happening is because nobody wants to face Zabit. He's going to win this fight, and he's going to do so convincingly. And Zabit inside the distance, or I believe, is it inside the distance, or is it fight
doesn't go the distance?
Well, the only reason
is
out. It's because it's all that's out, and that's the first half of a consensus bet parlay. The other half we'll mention later on the card, and that will be to maintain our undefeated record with the consensus bets for the year.
For free. So,
how much was?
Free.
Okay.
No tout bullshit around this podcast.
Yeah, it's not. It's very cheap. It's very low cost of entry. Next fight up on the UFC Fight Pass card, we got Devin Clark from Looking for a Fight taking on Mike Rodriguez from the Contender Series. So, two guys Dana White claims he found. Bradley.
Yeah, I remember watching Devin Clark going back to his RFA days, and he's decently athletic and can kind of wrestle a little bit, but the guy's just never impressed me with anything that he's done. And I know this line's close. I know that he's probably going to be a little bit stronger than Rodriguez in this fight. But I think that Rodriguez's length and his striking is going to give Clark a lot of trouble here, and I think he's going to eventually catch him with something. We saw that Clark can get wobbled and put out by sort of weird glancing strikes. I think that was the Nicholson fight, and I think that Rodriguez is going to put something pretty smooth on him.
Smooth. Dushan.
Yeah, I got nothing for this fight, but that was a pretty solid breakdown by Brad, so I'm going to go with Mikey Rodriguez.
Wes, any thoughts here?
Yeah, I kind of feel a lot like Brad does. It's a good description of the fight, but man, Clark Brad's right. He's very, very athletic, but I think he's a pretty decent fighter. He does get caught with some dumb shit sometimes, and this is a guy that has a lot of length that could catch him with something. So it's just a fight that I'm not going to bet, but I'll probably end up picking Clark and Toutmaster. I think he's the better guy here. It's just, he just has funny shit happen to him when he loses. And it could happen here, but Clark's going to be a pick. But I can't bet this fight at all.
Yeah, I got both these fighters graded a D. I think there's some issues with this fight in terms of Clark is the guy that's going to be more consistent throughout the bout. Rodriguez is way longer and way more dynamic. He's got a really good left knee, kind of like a flying left knee. He's finished a few fights with that. That's definitely his kind of like go-to maneuver. It's how he got into the UFC. That was before he got on the Contender Series. He landed kind of like a big left knee. And in Clark, like as kind of Wes mentioned, he kind of has like these like brain farts in fights, and he's certainly capable of getting caught. Being ahead and about, and then just getting caught with a knee, and he's just left for dead in the cage. But if this fight, goes a distance, I don't really see a way Rodriguez could win. So it's kind of a tough fight to call because of that. So I'm going to lean towards Clark because Rodriguez, I think Rodriguez is kind of a one-trick pony. So I'm just kind of picking the averages of he doesn't land his one trick. But again, this fight's one of the tougher ones to call on the card overall. Next fight up is first women's bout on the card. It's one of two women's bouts on this card. We got Ashley Evans Smith, two last names, taking on MMA Analysis, not friend of the MMA Analysis, Beck Rawlings. Bradley.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about a Beck Rawlings fight. She's still in the UFC apparently. That's a thing.
Because she's friends with Her Majesty. Your Majesty. Another friend of the show.
What are they combined in the UFC? Like 2-9 or something?
Horrible.
It can't be much better than that.
Gotta love a 7-7 fighter versus a 5-3 fighter. Over.
It might be 1-7.
So bad.
I have to look that up.
Yeah, it's real bad. But Beck Rawlings is not good at fighting, and Ashley Evans Smith can at least do a couple things well. So I think she'll get some takedowns, and this will kind of suck, and then it'll be over.
Yeah,
they're like 4-8.
That's the best part of this fight, is that it's going to end, right, Brad?
Yeah.
Too bad.
Well,
this is not soon enough.
Card starting at this is going to be at like what 7:30?
No,
this fight will be at about 7.
Perfect.
This fight, yeah. So that'll be a good time to take the dogs out for a walk, and and then they'll leave me alone for the rest of the night.
Yeah, just come back in 20 minutes. It'll be fun.
Yep.
Okay. Nushan. I know you're doing there.
No, gone are the days where I could well, it's minus 320. Gone are the days where I could just blindly parlay these brutal fucking women's fights at like minus 200, minus 220. I could just parlay them and forget about it. Now it's like 320. Yeah, I got nothing on this fight.
And that goes to decision.
Yeah,
that's over 2.5 would be like 345.
It's fucking brutal.
Nushan, we'll pick up this strategy later and we'll see if you continue it.
Yeah.
Wes, your thoughts on this one?
Two horrible fighters. I think Beck Rawlings is a fucking trash can though, fighter and a person. So
I mean, look who her friends are.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope Evan Smith busts her up a little bit. I think Evan Smith wins. It's going to be a fucking shitty, boring fight. It goes to a decision. Evan Smith.
Yeah, I got Evan Smith the C-, Beck Rawlings the D. I agree with you guys. I think the strength factor is significant in this one. Evan Smith, definitely a better grappler, more physically strong. I think she takes Beck Rawlings to the mat if she wants to, when she wants to. That's where she has her
from 135 for this fight too.
Yeah, she is, and Beck Rawlings is moving. Beck Rawlings is probably like a natural flyweight, right? Definitely.
She used to fight at 115.
That was because I think she had to, right? Yeah.
Strung out.
Yeah.
Have you seen her ever? Do you see the choices she makes on top of her head and like the holes that she puts in her face? She's always strung out, Sean.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, she's going to be
up those track marks.
Let's keep that strength. Evan Smith wins probably by decision. Fight Pass headliner. Guys, who's not excited for the return of the Flowy? Flowy one. Taking on Bruce Leroy.
Keep it flowy.
Flowy. I mean, who loses here?
Us.
I mean, I'm just excited to see one of the best tacticians in the game apply his craft to one of these fights. Apply game plan.
He's a John Kavanaugh pupil, okay? Disciple. Disciple.
What a genius. What just a masterful MMA tactician.
John Kavanaugh is the Thomas Edison of MMA coaching, okay?
He's the Thomas Edison of MMA. He invented it.
He's the Gary Kasparov of MMA.
Wow.
Just a master tactician.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Brad.
Hey, I'm excited. I can't wait to see. I just hope this fight gets out of the first round because I can't wait to see the adjustments that John Kavanaugh is going to make in the corner to combat the funky style of Bruce Leroy. We got flowy versus funky here. This is a showdown.
Brad,
they're all playing checkers.
I thought the most exciting thing here would have been getting again. Talking to Floboff when he's going to take him down to the mat.
Or hopefully we've got Connor running around the outside of the cage, just like fucking wild man.
Looking for the nurse treehouse. The only place he feels safe.
Yeah. New Sean.
I'm picking Bruce Leroy, but he really tries hard to find ways to lose, even when he's winning fights. So, no chance I'm betting it. Hopefully, we see some patented flowiness. That's what we all came to see.
Wes.
Yeah, I like Caceres in this fight too. I'm hoping the line comes down a little bit. If it can get a little closer to even money, I'll probably put a little bet on him. But like Sean said, he's a moron, so you got to be careful. But I just think this is going to be some sloppy ass stand up, and Caceres can sneak some takedowns whenever he wants to. So Caceres can sneak a couple takedowns, steal a couple rounds. I think he can get a decision here. So, yeah, I like Caceres. If it comes down a little bit more, I'll probably bet him a little bit.
Yeah, I got both these guys at D+, and I don't trust either guy. To be frank, they're both known for making dumb decisions. Lavoff loves being taken down. Caceres loves getting hit. I think it's kind of a dangerous fight to bet because neither fighter is really known to come out and, really excel. So it's tough. I'm actually, just to be contrarian, I'm gonna pick Floboff, but I wouldn't bet this one. I think this is, a disaster waiting to happen in a lot of ways. And we may not get a decision if Connor just keeps running around the cage and doesn't leave. So they might just call the fight. First fight up on the televised card is Evan Dunham, top 15 Evan Dunham, taking on Ohm. Brad?
At some point, Evan Dunham's going to get old, right?
Nope.
Already. Well, he's got no hair left, or something like that.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He's got less hair. He's got less hair than Lance, right?
I don't know about that. That's pushing it.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I think in a matchup of another guy who wants to grapple and is younger, probably a little bit stronger, I think this could be a fight where Dunham starts to look a little bit old. We've seen Ohm make some improvements on the feet. He's actually got a decent jab now. Still gets hit a little bit too much, but Dunham's specialty isn't exactly power or not getting hit himself. So I think it's going to be a little more even than people expect on the feet, and I think that Ohm's got the strength to win some of those grappling exchanges. So I'm actually going to side with the only remaining Canadian hope and see if we can't pick up a victory here. So Ohm by decision for me.
Picking a Canadian, yeah, it's trouble. New Sean.
Regardless who wins this fight, I think it goes over. If Ohm's on top, I think Dunham's good enough on the ground to fight off the sub game. Ohm definitely has been clipped sometimes, but I think he should be able to recover enough. It is pretty juicy. Goes decision is -210. I'll look to parlay that, but I do kind of give the younger Canadian an edge, so that's pretty dicey because we know how Canadians do. But I'll pick him in Toutmaster.
All right, Wes.
Yeah, there's been a few guys that's made me some money like Evan Dunham has over the past few years. He's been a big dog quite a few times. But I don't think it could be said any better than what Brad said here. I kind of look at that, looking at it the same exact way. Dunham's going to have to start slowing down eventually, and even if he's the same guy in this fight that he's been, I got to go with the younger guy that I think is a lot like Dunham, just a little better when it does get to the mat and stuff. So, like Brad said, I think the stand-up is pretty even, and Ohm's not going to have to worry about Dunham out there throwing Edson Barboza combos on him and shit. He's just, got to stay tight enough to get a couple takedowns, and I think he's better there. So I like Ohm here at plus money, and I'll be betting him.
Yeah, I got Dunham a B-, Ohm a C. I just think that, I think Dunham's the guy who like fights up to his competition, but then when he faces a lower guy and more sticky situation. So I could definitely see this being a letdown kind of a fight for him, especially coming off the fight with Dariush and just being competitive against higher level guys. Ohm definitely has a path to victory with the offensive takedowns. On the feet, Dunham's better, and Dunham's pretty tricky with the submission game as well. Tough fight to call. And I think they're trying to tell us something with the line being as close as it is, considering Dunham's quality wins and experience versus Ohm. So I could definitely potentially see Ohm sneaking out a win here, but I wouldn't bet it. Next up, Chris Grutzemacher taking on Joey fucking Lozon, another land special.
Joey fucking Lozon.
Brad, I like your Boston accent. Continue.
And should I do the whole car ride in the pack thing? No, I think that they want to get Joey fucking Lozon a win on a big card, and Chris Grutzemacher is he's the type of guy that Lozon can definitely come out and just overwhelm him early. He's tough, but when your only descriptor is that you're tough, that's probably not the greatest thing in the world. He beat the Love Boat, Abner Love Boat, on the Tough 22 finale, and he's been submitted twice since then. So I think we're going to see just Joey come out, do some vintage shit, and get a quick sub here. So yeah, I like it.
You, Sean. Yeah. Question.
Go ahead.
Is Joey Lozon going to be in the UFC Hall of Fame?
Better fucking believe it. He's got the most bonuses in UFC history.
Yeah, even if not on straight performance.
Yeah,
I think going to be
bonuses and shit. Yeah,
just from so many finishes and
yeah. The way the sport's looked at the past 7-8 years too, it's all about how you finish fights, bro. Kind of that.
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Brad. They're really trying to get Joey fucking Lozon a win here. He's looked pretty rough in his last 4 fights. Even that win against Marcin Held, he didn't look amazing. And he looked really rough against Clay Guida, just getting smashed there. So then they put him against a pretty shitty tough guy that has got choked out last 2 fights. So you kind of see where they're going. No chance I would have money on Joey Lozon at this point in his career, especially as a favorite, but I will pick him in Toastmaster.
Wes?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much all that. But man, Lozon is like 70 in fight years at this point, and Grutzemacher is, the quote unquote, tough guy, if not like a good fighter. But man, if Lozon doesn't, get him subbed out of there early, it could get kind of hairy, I think. So I think Lozon wins this, but to bet Lozon as that big a fave at this point is kind of crazy to me. So Lozon would be the pick, but I would not be surprised at all if this gets out of the first, that Grutzemacher could squeeze out some kind of fucked up decision. So yeah, stay away.
I'm going to just agree with what Wes says. I'm not even going to say anything else other than you got Grutzemacher a D and Lozon a C-. Anyway, interesting bout up. Flyweight, 2 ranked fighters. Ray Borg coming off his title fight defeat, taking on Brandon Moreno. Brad, what do you think of this one?
I think that Brandon Moreno can't really wrestle. Mm-hmm. He likes guillotines. That's a bad combination, because when somebody tries to wrestle against you and you like guillotines, you go for guillotines, and you end up on your back. And when the guy you're going for guillotines against is Ray Borg, you're not going to get those guillotines, and you're going to spend probably about 14 of these 15 minutes on your back. And that's a good way to lose a decision. Should be a fun fight. Moreno's going to throw shit up from his back. Borg's going to find ways out of it. He's going to pass guard. There's going to be some scrambles. It'll be entertaining, but it's going 15 minutes, and Ray Borg is getting his hand raised.
New Sean, do you agree with Brad?
Yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say. I guess you worry a bit about the first fight after losing a title fight, but Borg's young, and he fared decently well in that fight, even if it was mostly on defense. Moreno, I don't know if he is who we thought he was. I think there's some weird at flyweight. There's some weird results in some fights that, a guy wins a fight and then all of a sudden he's not that good. Actually, maybe that was his win against Dustin Ortiz. I don't know, because I don't think too highly of Pettis. I'm probably too low on him, and he was able to, fairly easily win that fight. So I'm going with Ray. I think he will be able to dominate, like Brad said, and not get caught by a guillotine or anything stupid like that.
Okay. Wes?
Yeah, I can't really add too much more to what those guys said. I think it plays out pretty much exactly like that. I've never been huge on Moreno. He has, I've been wrong. He's cost me a couple times, but I mean, if you're gonna get taken down by Sergio Pettis like he did and shit, I mean, Borg is gonna, like Brad said, he'll be on top for 14 minutes out of 15 of this fight, and Borg's not gonna get caught in some dumbass submission like Ortiz and the Smokers of the world. So yeah, I like Borg here pretty big, and he'll be in a couple parlays for sure.
Yeah, I got Borg at B+, Moreno a C. Athletically, he's far superior. He's a way better offensive wrestler. And you could make a case that he's even a better striker than Brandon Moreno. He's certainly got faster hands than Brandon Moreno. Moreno's pretty game though, and he likes to make things interesting. I think he's got a pretty good chin as well. This probably goes the distance, but Ray Borg really should dominate with strikes and set up offensive takedowns, and avoid the submissions. Yeah, it's gonna be their all fight.
Great way. Hope's heating up.
Nova doing Nova things. I see it now.
Yep. Telling you, if this Dante kid isn't your favorite player in this tournament, then you need to learn how to watch the game of basketball.
We talking about the ginger?
Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Italiana. He's from northern Italy, okay?
Michigan's got that kid that's named after like 17 different boxers. Muhammad Ali, Hasim Rahman.
Yeah, forget Brunson. Give me this Italian ginger any day of the week. No doubt about it.
Sorry. Got off track.
Yeah, so TV headliner, one of Brad's favorites, Felice Herrick.
No.
Oh, bulldog face.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Little bulldog face.
Yeah.
The bulldog versus the koala bear.
Yeah, we got animals fighting.
Yeah. You want me to talk about this fight?
It's up to you. You got something better to tell me?
Not really. I mean, like, there's a lot of things that are better than this fight, but I don't really want to talk about any of them right now. I'll just say that the koala witch is gonna win a decision because it's a women's fight, and that's what happens. And she's all right. She's top 5 strawweight.
It's arguable.
Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to take the bait there.
No,
we're not going to talk about strawweight MMA.
Just walk away.
She's winning a decision. That's it.
There we go.
There you go. New Sean.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to do.
I can't even play though. It's minus 365. These guys have finally learned that you can't just...
Out of your range?
Yeah, they did.
It's garbage.
It's actually out of your range? Come on.
Minus 365 is out of my range, even though these...
Sean, you used to get them at like minus 200 and
I
shit.
know, 220, and I got shit on for taking all these overs, and now look what happened.
Then you had guys stealing your stick and shit and tweeting out all the numbers. Sounds like I was doing that shit 3 years ago, dude.
They can have it.
Does anyone else hate the sky cam in college basketball more than me? Because I can't stand it.
Whatever this angle is right here, they're showing is horrible.
Yeah, that's a sky.
It's awful.
Sky cam.
Yeah,
Sky cam.
That's not how you watch basketball.
I want sideline.
Yeah,
because this is like the video game view, right? Like that's the sky cam view, kind of.
Yeah.
Pretty much every sport should be watching the side cam.
Yeah.
Soccer, football, anyway.
But yeah, I mean, Koala Bear should be pretty amped up for this fight because Rose is the champ and she does have a split decision win over it, so she isn't too far away from a title shot if she can win here and maybe win one more. So I expect her to win, but she does have pillow fists, so she's probably not going to do it too decisively by decision.
Sodsman.
Yeah, I like Carolina here too, but man, like Sean said, the pillow fist, it's going to leave Herring in this fight, the entire fight. And if Herring gets a takedown, she can stay on top for chunks of a round. I could absolutely see that, but I think Carolina could keep this on the feet and box her up. She's way better on the feet, in my opinion. And Felice Herring is no Claudia or anything. She's not gonna double leg Carolina. So I think this stays up for 3 rounds and Carolina boxes her up for 3 and gets a decision.
Yeah. Your boy is heating up.
Yep.
I told you. He's the Great White Hope. Man.
He just went off again?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait, what's the score for you right now?
30-26.
Jay's ahead of everybody.
Yeah,
I don't
Jay's
know.
got,
I just saw him get that layup.
They pumped that shit into Jersey, New York City.
Into it.
I'm closest to the media hub. That's what happened.
These Canadians would trade both Laramie brothers right now for this fucking redheaded Italian. Straight up. Like straight up.
Absolutely.
He is hot. He is red hot.
I'm surprised both y'all ain't got some SGA jerseys already. Like the biggest dick Canadian since Murray.
Wes, I'm waiting for RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see what he's got. Where's he going to college? Is he even going?
He's going to Duke, I think.
Yeah, Duke's gonna have
Zion.
a fucking...
Jesus Christ.
Oh, they're gonna they got 2 others too that are like top 10. They got like
might be the best class ever.
They're talking like it's up there with the DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall class and all that shit. Yeah.
That's probably going to be.
I think that's fair.
But
Duke
had that class this past year too. They had Bagley and all them motherfuckers, and you see what happened. Coach K, he fucking flames out of tournaments now. Happens every fucking year. We'll see. But that is like...
but Bagley's the only one who showed up.
That's a fucking team, though, man. Holy shit.
But Zion and the Barrett kid are like consensus.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, they're fucking legit, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm still waiting for all the Coach K's killing college basketball articles. I still haven't seen too many of those. Yeah. All the one and done and shit. He's just killing college ball.
College ball's better than ever.
I know. But when Cal does it, he's the devil and he's running college basketball.
Hey, that's because Cal doesn't have an all-time great like Grayson Allen that sticks around for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean you gotta have
that wholesome boy.
You gotta have one guy that's gonna fucking trip you and fucking do a. I like the butt move he did in the last game. That was like legit pro wrestling type.
Love that dude.
Kid.
Love that dude.
All heart, baby.
Yep.
Ted Cruz's evil little fucking spine. It's like,
oh shit!
Who's up?
I think you are, aren't you?
We had to wash the taste of another women's fight out of our mouths before moving on.
Right.
Yeah, I got Herrick C+, Koala B+. I mean, Koala is definitely the more talented fighter for sure, but Herrick continues to surprise me. I think she's probably been one of the most improved fighters in all of MMA over the last probably a year and a half to 2 years. You know, if she gets Koala to the ground, which is certainly plausible, she could control her there for a bit. But can she do that for 2 out of 3 rounds? I don't see it happening. So I'm going to pick Carolina to win. You know, definitely on striker for 2 out of 3 rounds, and that'll be enough to get the W. Pay-per-view. Did we actually say that Borg is part of our parlay? Because I don't know if we mentioned that.
We did not.
We were pretty emphatic about him winning, but I don't think we
were. So yeah,
we were official.
So to close out the consensus MMA Analysis consensus parlay, have Ray Borg combined with Magomed Sharapov Bochniak doesn't go the distance, and that pays out Nushan at?
That pays out at
plus 114.
Yeah, 114.
Plus 114. Consensus bet to stay undefeated on the year.
And we really tried to find a straight bet, but there's just we got a little too much dissension on these close fights, so couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
And here's another one. First fight of the pay-per-view. We got UFC commentator Paul Felder taking on, what does he do now?
He's a real estate agent.
Real estate agent. Ally Akita. Is that like the new IRS? I mean, why has there never been a real estate agent in the WWE, Brad? Brad, talk to me about this.
That's true. That's one of the few professions that
has not
you can. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll have to go through the archives, see if I can find something.
Yeah, I feel like there would have been like a female manager that would have been like a real estate agent. Never, actually, not a wrestler. It feels like something that probably happened at some point.
Yeah, I feel like Deborah at some point she had the real estate MILF look going on. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I'll have to do a little research on that one and get back to you. But Real Estate Ayakinta.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good.
Put it in the book.
It's almost good as soup can time.
Add it to the book.
Yeah, this is going to be a fight where 2 guys probably get punched in the face a lot. And you know what? I always used to make fun of Paul Felder because he used to do the get punched in the face and get mad about it, and then get punched in the face again and then get real angry, and he just used to continue doing that. But he's actually turned it around and looked pretty decent. He's punched the guy back lately, which is, it's a stunning strategy. I'm amazed that an MMA fighter was able to come up with that. But we'll see how that happens against a bit more of a slick boxer in Ayakinta. But at the same time, he's been off selling houses and all that bullshit. So he's fought, once in the past 4 years? Something ridiculous like that.
I mean, he's got a lot of commission trails, Brad. It's big time money. I mean, real estate's not cheap around in New York,
That's true.
I mean, Long Island's, a bunch of rich, preppy people.
Yeah, sell something up in the Hamptons. You're that's set for a couple of years.
Yeah, for MMA money. Yeah,
that's like a Nate Diaz payday.
It sure can be.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a competitive fight. For some reason, I'm leaning slightly to Felder. I just think that he's a bit better at making adjustments lately, as weird as that sounds. But this isn't a fight that I'm going to put money on either way. I think it's going to be competitive all the way through. If I'm going to bet it, it's going to be the over, because I think both guys have pretty solid chins, and that's only minus 130. So I think it goes to decision. Slightly lean Felder for the win, but not really taking a side on this one.
New Sean.
Yeah, I got to agree with Brad. I like the over there. I haven't played it yet, but I'm gonna play it eventually. Like Brad said, these guys are both pretty tough. They rarely get finished. Felder's looked a lot better. I mean, he reeled off 3 straight finishes last year, so he's on a bit of a roll, whereas Iaquinta is selling houses, I guess. Yeah, he's got 3 fights in the last 4 years, about. So yeah, he's definitely not that active. His last fight was against Sanchez like this time last year. So tough to back a guy that is not a full-time fighter and has his mind other places, even if he trains at a decent gym. So I will pick Felder, and I'm going to play the over.
Sosman.
Yeah, I heard Al's like a silent partner in some pop-up chicken joint too. So
it's getting bad reviews though, so hopefully that doesn't affect his fighting.
I know, it's like.
I hope you're not saying anything bad about this. You know,
I would never do that.
I
might.
Hey, you know, I heard that there's a little there's a rivalry between the pop-up chicken joints and the pizza places out west. So sometimes you'll see they'll go and leave reviews for each other, and then just shit hits the fan, man. You don't want to fuck with those pizza kids or those pop-up chicken dudes, man. That's some territory you don't want to go
I don't
down.
think it's like back in the 90s we had like East Coast versus West Coast in the rap game. I think in like this generation, this decade,
Yelp game.
You know, it's more like it's like NorCal pizza versus like SoCal hot chicken. You know,
Yep.
It's tough. It's tough. It's real.
Man.
It's like bigger than the fast food wars of like 2027.
You don't want it. You don't want it in these Yelp Street, homie. You do not want it.
Oh shit!
Oh,
we have too much fun on this show.
Yep.
I love it.
All right. Where was I?
Real.
The realist.
Real. I keep the slate.
Yeah, I agree with those dudes that Felder has looked better, man. But I'm just the guys he's looked better against. He should look better against. I mean, you know, Chucky, that was just horrible. Stevie Ray, who I don't think
we thought he was a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Alex fucking Ricci. And I think this is a really close fight. I think Al he hits a little harder. I think his power could be a difference here. But it is really close. To both, like Brad said, they're both very slick boxers, good strikers, but I just kind of lean out here. I think he's a little bit better fighter, but man, the layoffs is just what's keeping me from immediately betting him. I do like the over as well. I think this does go to a decision, but man, if the line keeps going my way, I'll probably put a little bit on Al. I think he's just a little bit better fighter. The only thing, like I said, scares me is the layoff. Too much real estate and pop-up chicken joints, man. They'll sidetrack a career.
Watch out for that salmonella. You better not put that on Yelp.
Yeah, if you pop in with some of that coleslaw, man, I would definitely be worried about my health.
All right, so I got Al a B and Felder a B minus. I think Al's got a higher ceiling overall in his career than Paul Felder does. He's just more dynamic. I agree, it's hard too, but there's just so many unknowns. I don't know how much he really cares. I know that Felder's intelligent. You hear that from when he speaks, and definitely understands the game. But does he want it more? Yeah, you can make that argument. So it's tough to call. More talented fighter versus maybe the smarter fighter. Definitely, again, this is maybe the hardest fight to call on the card. I'm gonna lean towards Al, but honestly, I think it's best to just move on and place your bet somewhere else. Another lightweight fight. Michael Chiesa, winner of that tough season, almost underrated tough season ever, taking on former champion Anthony Pettis. Man, and out of the top 15.
That's crazy.
Brad. Yes, it is.
Before that,
Brad,
fight.
Remember when you were calling for Pettis versus Aldo as like the best fight in MMA?
That
make at one point? Yeah.
It was at the time.
3 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago either.
Oh, it wasn't.
But oh well. What can you do? Now, obviously, both guys have fallen. Aldo's fallen a little bit. Pettis has fallen quite a bit. But I still think this is a winnable fight for him. I'm not sure if I'm going to go out there and bet him because Chiesa can get inside, get the body lock, and end up on his back. I don't think that Chiesa is going to get a sub in this fight just because Pettis has always been really underrated as a grappler, and I just think that, even though Chiesa is good on the back, I don't think he's going to get a choke. I think he'll just be able to control position or maybe get back to that position if need be. On the feet, Pettis obviously has an advantage as long as he's able to keep the distance and avoid some of Chiesa's pressure, which is really plotting, not great angles. So Pettis should be able to. Keyword should. But man, this is a tough one to call. I've still got a little bit of faith that Pettis has some skill and some ability left in the tank, and that he picks up the win here. But man, at this price, I'm not going to go out there and bet it. It's more hope than anything at this point, I think, just because I know what kind of exciting fighter he can be, and Chiesa's fun and all, but I just want to see Pettis get back to those same sort of heights that he was at.
New Sean.
I feel like every time we break down an Anthony Pettis fight, we're like, his takedown defense should be better. His striking should be better than what it's kind of shown lately. There's a lot of shoulds that happen, and they really seem to not come to fruition.
Yes. First half under, never in doubt, baby.
Jesus Christ. But Pettis really has not looked good in a long time. Very few little flashes of what he used to be, but man, it's bad. And that takedown defense has never got good. I think Chiesa is going to be able to get him down and lay on him. I probably would have taken a shot at Chiesa by sub when it was in the plus 400 range. Now it's getting hammered down. It's down to the plus 290. So
don't worry, it still pays $0.
I don't know. Pettis got subbed last time, whether it one way or another.
That's get out of here. Get out of here.
I expect Chiesa to win. I'm probably gonna put a small play on him at minus 140.
Osman.
Yeah, this is probably one of the hardest fights for me to pick on the card, but I'm kind of leaning more with Sean on this one. Man, Pettis just, I don't know, man. He looked like he was going down as one of the best ever, and it just, I don't know, man. He hasn't improved in the areas of just the areas where he was really lacking that would have let him, implement his game a whole lot more. And that's just being able to stop a takedown, man. Brad's right that he always has like circled off of the cage and stuff very good, but it seems like he's not doing that as well anymore either. Just almost like he's losing that foot speed. Just in close when guys get him in close. It just seems like he can't get off that cage as much anymore, and then he gets taken down. I can see that happening here. I do also agree with Brad though that Pettis he's still very good on the ground. He's always, even though he can't stop a takedown, never been good at taking guys down either. But his grappling is very, very good, and I do think he can hold Chiesa off on the mat. If it comes down to that, and I'm kind of more leaning to where I think that's where the fight's going to be. Chiesa can sneak in a couple takedowns in this fight and and I think he can win it. So, Chiesa by decision for me is going to be the pick, and I'm probably going to bet Chiesa. I just hope the line gets a little bit better. Usually Pettis gets bet. I think at plus money, he'll probably take a little money close to the fight. I'm hoping so anyway.
I got both these guys to B-. I actually like Michael Chiesa in this bout because I think he's a bad matchup actually for Pettis. Pettis can be taken down. We've seen it time and time again. And Chiesa's good at that. Once he takes you down, he locks in the back, and then you're not moving for like 5 minutes. You either get subbed or, you get to the end of the round. I think Chiesa is able to do that in 2 rounds, and that's enough to win a decision or a late stoppage. So, I think Chiesa's kind of close to a bet. I'd prefer, minus 120. It's just kind of hard to see Michael Chiesa, given what we were talking about from a few years ago, being a favorite over Anthony Pettis, but
crazy.
We're there, and he's deservingly a slight favorite in my eyes. So, again, I'll take Michael Chiesa and, takedowns and back control. I'll do it. Third fight up on the card, and definitely one of the more interesting bouts that no one's talking about, between 2 pretty good prospects in the featherweight division. Featherweight division, right? Kevin Cutter and Renato Moicano. Brad, what do you think?
I think this is a pretty good fight that I absolutely don't care about at all. Because Qatar he actually finished somebody. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
he finished Burgos in his last fight after going to
a really good one.
34 straight decisions in a row. Surprising win. I like Burgos in that fight. I don't think I had a bet or anything on it, but from what I remember, for this being 3 months ago now, and how little I pay attention to fights I don't care about, I feel like he was sort of getting beat up in this fight a little bit, and then won at the end. Is that a correct recollection?
For the Qatar Burgos fight?
Yeah.
Burgos for sure put him on in a second. But
he was rolling in the second. Taking over.
That's kind of what I remember. And a guy like Burgos who does some flashy stuff that he doesn't necessarily need to do, eventually something like that's going to happen. But I think Burgos is a better striker than Moicano. However, Moicano, as we saw against Jeremy Stephens, that dude can definitely stick to a game plan, and even if it means it's going to be
terrible,
a shitty, boring fight, he's willing to do what it takes to get the win. Even still, I think that Qatar's got a little bit of an edge with his pressure and really solid technique, and doesn't have a whole lot of flash to his game. But I think that's going to work for him in this fight. I think he's just going to come forward. Moicano's going to try and do the same sort of pick and pop sort of offense that he did against Jeremy Stephens. I just don't think he's going to be able to get quite enough off, because I don't think Qatar is going to get as frustrated as Stephens did in that fight. So edge to Qatar slightly. I think he picks up a decision here, but would absolutely not be shocked if this went the other way.
All right, then. Nushan.
I would hope that Qatar watch that Stephens fight with Moicano and learn from it, and won't get sucked into that kind of game plan, and will be able to cut off the cage a lot better. I've never really been a fan of Moicano. I know he's got some close wins. Like Brad said, he can stick to a game plan. So if Qatar isn't smart and cut off the cage, he could pick and pop and run to a win. So hopefully Qatar cuts him off and lands something big and can knock him out. I'll pick Qatar, but no bet at this point.
Wes?
Yes, I don't know. Something's just telling me that this is a Moicano fight, man. I keep seeing that second round of the Burgos fight, and I know that Moicano's not that, but he's also not a guy that's going to take the stupid ass chances that Burgos does, like Brad was saying. He's definitely going to stick to some more, controlled game plan in this fight. It's really close. I do think that Cutter's the better fighter here, probably the better prospect, going to have a better career, but man, it's really close. No bet for me, but I'll probably just take the guy with the plus sign next to him and tout master and just watch the fight. That should be pretty entertaining.
Hey Jay, how am I doing in tout master, by the way?
Not very well.
Dead last, baby. Woo!
2 points?
Yep. I think it might be an all-time low.
That's impressive in its own way.
Right?
Takes
dedication to do that.
Yeah, it does. Very much so. I got both these guys at B-. This is an intriguing fight. Both these guys are solid prospects, are moving up in this division. Both, have decent wins. Certainly Moicano's quote-unquote win over Stevens is a big one, considering what Stevens has done in this weight. I think that alone kind of gives you some, credence that he could, do well in the UFC, and it's gonna be tough to finish. Ortega did get him, recently, but it was well into the third, and that was a pretty close fight. Kind of up until that point. The one thing about Cutter is that I think he's got a pretty good striking arsenal. And he's going to stay active. He's definitely not a guy that's is going to take minutes off in the bout. So it's going to be tough to beat him for Moicano because he doesn't hit hard. He's more kind of stay in it, consistent over 15 minutes kind of a guy. Well, I think Cutter's just gonna it's going to come down to volume, and I think Cutter's going to be able to kind of get the job done in that regard. More effective punches and more of them. So I'll take Cutter to win. I think it's close to a bet. It's not, there's still a few days before the fight to see if it, moves a little more favorably. But I think this is one of the better plays on the card. 2 title fights now. Another women's fight. I forgot about this. So there's 3 women's fights on this card. Sorry to rub it in your face. Champion Rose Namajunas is taking on challenger Joanna. Brad?
Yeah, I don't really have much of an opinion on this fight, strangely, and it's actually a good women's fight. I just think that Joanna's gonna make some adjustments. She's not gonna get caught like she did in the first meeting, and I think when it becomes a more prolonged technical striking battle, there's nobody in the division that is better than her. So I think that she's going to come back, she's going to win the fight and regain her title. I'm sort of picturing like a 49-46 type decision, and I'm not sure that it's going to be enough that it'll warrant a trilogy fight, or if Joanna's really going to stay at 115 after the fight's over. So I think the aftermath is going to be just about as interesting as the actual fight, because while I don't expect it to be a bad fight, I just don't think it's going to be super competitive, and we've seen Joanna sometimes, doesn't go for the kill as much as she could. I think this is going to be another case where, especially since she knows the kind of danger that Rose presents, that might be exacerbated a little bit.
Nushan, you're up.
Joanna gets hit a lot. We never really saw it do much damage until the Namajunas fight. Carolina was able to kind of blood her up pretty good. Andrade didn't really hit her much. But Claudia dropped her in the first fight. Did she drop her in the second fight too? Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a thing where Joanna has just a granite chin or anything like that. So she took a pretty good beating from Rose. if Rose can land that, I think Joanna goes down. Supposedly the weight cut for Joanna was absolutely brutal, and she has no idea how she made the weight, so it's supposedly going a lot better this time. That probably should help.
She looks jacked.
Yeah.
She looks fucking jacked. Cut up, dude. Probably the best I've ever seen her look.
I definitely don't see it finishing in the first round or first couple of minutes like it did last time, obviously. It probably goes to a decision. I did take a look at Rose by TKO in the plus 500, plus 450 range, just because Joanna does get hit and has been dropped before. So I don't really have a strong lean either way for a side. I might just sprinkle on Rose if she keeps if it moves a bunch and she comes a bigger dog. But I will pick Rose Namajunas to defend.
Wes.
Yeah, I'm kind of siding more with a lot of what Brad said in this fight, and I think you got to think that JJ's going to make some adjustments here, and I know she has been rocked in the past, and she does get hit a lot, but in all those fights that happened, she always came out on top. She always ended up winning. This is a different scenario now. I mean, this time she lost. So to me, I would think that she's going to be more technical. She's not going to take those chances that she had in the past, even after being hurt. Then of course, it's always how much do you want to believe that a weight cut, bothered somebody, but she's been known to have bad weight cuts in the past, so I'm going to take that at face value and think that that there was some truth to it last time. And man, the pictures that she's posted in the past week and talking about her weight cut, she looks excellent, man. I mean, she looks like cut up. She was showing like some abs and shit, dude. Like, she looks very good for this fight. So however much stock you put into that, some people none. She looks very good, and I think the weight cut's going to go better, at least better than it did last time. So yeah, I'm leaning JJ here. I think that I don't think that Rose is going to knock her out like she did last time. And if this gets into a prolonged fight, I think JJ's better. So over 5 rounds, which I think this probably does go to a decision this time. I like JJ in a pretty wide decision, like Brad said, 49-46, something like that. So I think she gets her title back. But man, it's always sketchy coming off a loss like that. So you got to keep that in mind for sure. But I like JJ to retain, and I'll be betting her here. You don't get a line on a former champ and stuff like that often in a fight that I think is winnable. Minus 125 is pretty good. So yeah, I'll be sprinkling on that for sure.
I got both these fighters in A+. This is a difficult fight to call because usually younger fighter taking on older fighter, younger fighter wins. That they rematch. You usually almost always take the younger fighter again, but this seems a little different. Because I think of the shock of how Joanna lost. It wasn't like she was beat up over 3 or 5 rounds and, was outclassed. It was kind of like a one strike, and it kind of set up everything else in the bout. And the way, Wes said about how Joanna is physically in great shape, weight cut was bad last time. Maybe didn't take that fight as serious as maybe she could have. There's a lot of things working towards Joanna to get the win in this bout, and we've seen how dominant she's been over everybody else in the division. Rose certainly has game, but I think she's going to be in for it now, especially fighting in this Brooklyn crowd, which should be very pro Joanna. So I'm going to take Joanna to regain her title. I think it's going to be by decision, and if it gets a little more, I might even bet it, but not now. Main event time. We got Max Holloway moving up to lightweight, taking on my guy, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
My guy.
I still don't know that. He hasn't made a walk yet.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Man. So, let's talk about Max Holloway versus Jose Aldo 3 for the interim lightweight title, because that's what we're going to see on Saturday night after Khabib pulls out this week.
Brad.
What? What happened?
Talk about the fight that's booked.
He keeps making the walk, Jay. He keeps making it now.
Yeah. This is... I don't think it's going to be very... Even if Max was coming in 100%, and let's sort of cover all the bases before we even get there. This is a guy who pulled out of a fight a month ago because he had a pretty bad ankle injury, talking about how he wouldn't be ready to go to even start training again for another month. And then all of a sudden he's taking a fight against the biggest, strongest fighter that he's ever faced, who's the best wrestler who he's ever faced, who has the best top game in MMA and probably the most punishing style of anybody in MMA.
Nice.
That's a pretty bad combination. And then you've got stuff coming out from Holloway's nutritionist saying that this is going to be the biggest weight cut that he's ever had. And I'm not sure if he's talking about Max, which I think is absolutely
any of his.
No,
that's what I was saying.
Guy, he's ever worked with. Yeah, it's crazy.
And we're talking about a guy who normally fights at 145. So when he's got a bigger weight cut than 205ers and 185ers, that's not a good sign. I don't think Max Holloway's showing up to this fight in good shape at all, and he's going to get his shit pushed in for as long as he is willing to take it. It's going to be rape until the room stinks in this one. But
Adam BC showing up in this motherfucker.
I am not going there.
I just think, Holloway's tough. I think this might be a case where he's a little too tough for his own goods. I hope that at some point he kind of realizes what he's up against, and Khabib, he's going to give him the way out at some point, second, third round or beyond. I kind of hope for Holloway's sake that he takes it.
Dushan.
Yeah, Holloway wanted this fight to be at 170. That's how bad that's how big he's walking around. They wanted it at 170, and the UFC's like, no, we have to have it for the belt. This is going to be a brutal fucking weight cut for Max Holloway, who that's pretty much all he's doing.
He'll make it.
He'll make it.
Yep.
Likely.
Crazy fucking lions.
Because he's crazy.
But
he's fucking insane.
But he's not going to be doing any training in the meantime.
He's out in Hawaii right now running with rocks underwater and shit, man.
I mean, he just had to fly from Hawaii. He just got to New York. And has to do all this fucking his media shit and all that stuff for the rest of the week. Like, it's going to be brutal.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be death. And then he's got to fight Khabib.
He has to fight Khabib.
Oh man, poor guy. Like honestly, I hate that he is so tough because, like Brad said, he might be too tough for his own good, and that's not a good thing for the featherweight champion to be too tough for his own good, because Khabib might just change him as a fighter. It might get that bad. Khabib's just gonna drag him down and smother him and smash him. This is not good. Props to anybody who grabbed Fight Doesn't Go the Distance at any price other than what it is right now. I mean, even now I'm probably going to put it in some parlays. It opened minus 120, and just has got hammered down. It's minus 265. We'll see what Khabib's points handicap is, what him inside the distance when those all come out. It's going to be a freight train.
Wes?
Yeah, I think everything's pretty much been said, so I'll just, say that, Max is an absolute fucking G, and the dude is 10 times the champ that McNutty will ever fucking be. Just doing something like this is just insane. I do think it's a no-lose situation for him, if he takes that way out when it's given to him. If he doesn't take some fucking career-altering beating here, it's a no-lose situation. He's going to get a shot at a double title. He keeps his title, even if he loses, and he's going to get a fat-ass check, which that's another part of this is why probably the whole reason why he's taking the fight is money. He only got like half his purse last time when the fight got canceled. So, of course, I hope he gets a big check, but it's a no-lose situation if he gets out of there, because I just can't see any scenario where he's not getting the shit beat out of him, man. I wouldn't give Max a huge chance in this fight if he was 100% full training camp. I would give him a little bit more slighter chance, but, man, this is just balls, though, man. I'll give that dude is a G. Yep. Just taking a fight
6
like
days.
this. That guy, he's a real fucking fighter, man, and mad props to him. And I just don't want to see him get hurt, man, because the dude's like he's on track to be a legend in this sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude could be he's still gonna be, but just a bad beating here. Khabib could change a man's life, like, straight up. Khabib could change your fucking life, and I just hope Max is smart enough to get the fuck out of there, you know, when it's time to get out of there. And, yeah, fight inside the distance was crazy. I got minus 150. That's crazy. There's no way Max is going to have Khabib on him for 25 minutes. There's no fucking way. And if Max wins, it's going to be catching Khabib with something very, very hard on him, shooting in on some takedowns. And I think that's a fight finisher too. So yeah, there's no way this fight goes 25 minutes.
Can we talk about how much it sucks that Max's ridiculous win streak is going to come to an end?
Yeah,
in
just
this
all
situation
that.
Too,
yeah,
right?
All that, man, is kind of, I don't like it. That doesn't really sit well with me, man. Just like he's on a track to be like doing some greatness type shit. Now, I mean, if he wins this fight though, by some crazy chance, the dude is instant legend. I mean, it's instantaneous. That's a slim fucking chance, man. You know, and you're right. He's on like a crazy winning streak over some very good fucking guys. Would probably fight for this belt to try for a double title not too long into the future anyway, you know. So, yeah. Hopefully he just doesn't take a beating, man. That's all I ask here. Khabib could change a guy's career, man. Mm-hmm. Like, seriously.
I got lightweight Max Holloway in A, Khabib A++. It's Khabib's 5-1 favorite, boys. I've been waiting. I know a few others.
Shay's gonna be hard any which way, right? You're gonna be full wood.
Yeah, I mean this has been the culmination of what I've been talking about for I don't know how many years now. That Khabib's finally gonna have a chance to win the championship, fight for the title, take the title, and then reign supreme. And honestly, could end up being one of the pillars of the sport, undefeated. Really never really truly been challenged. And you know, Holloway is coming up as a current champion. So there's certainly some name value to it. I think this has more name value than the Tony fight. I know the Tony fight was talked about a lot. You know, if Max was, you know, I think a couple more wins under his belt, full camp, this could have been built up pretty nicely. It's not. You know, Max, coming off the injury, I'm not convinced he's healthy. I don't think he's supposed to be ready. I know that was touched on as well. And then the weight cut thing, I mean, he's really in for it here. If he wins this would be extraordinary to me to be.
It'd be one of the biggest upsets ever. I don't care what the odds are.
I mean, people talking about how Khabib had a padded record in this whole thing. I mean, that is such nonsense. He beat the brakes off RDA. He ran through Michael Johnson. He humbled Edson Barboza. I mean, it's who was put in front of him, and he's really hasn't been challenged.
He's toyed with those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, he's toyed with those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all fair. And how does Max stop a takedown in this battle? I mean, I have to really wonder. I mean, Khabib doesn't have the greatest in terms of percentage of takedowns he attempts, but he's relentless with them. And when he gets you down, it's basically the beginning of the end. Like, he may not finish you. It may take him a while to finish you, but guys usually don't get up and then they're like, they're going to challenge Khabib on the feet. It's just not something that really happens. So I'm certainly going to be taking Khabib to win this fight. It could be another giant decision. It could be a finish. I think it may be a finish here because he could maybe sub Holloway, who I think is vulnerable on the ground. Maybe even more compared to some of his other opponents. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the cage, assuming Khabib wins after with McGregor in the crowd. I don't care if McGregor comes to the cage or not. I am absolutely not convinced McGregor wants any piece of Khabib and will ever fight him because he doesn't want to be embarrassed like that and ruin his own legacy, his own money train.
He's never stepping into the cage with Khabib.
Nope.
Never.
The best chance that MMA had to get McGregor back was if Tony beat Khabib.
Yep. Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Or if Max beats Khabib.
Yep.
But that's very unlikely. Maybe something like that would happen.
Who was the last prolific wrestler that Max even fought? Like, I know he fought Lamas, but Lamas doesn't really ever wrestle anymore.
That's the thing.
Was it
Talk
Bermudez?
about how good his takedown defense is, and if you look at the guys who he's fought, it's not wrestlers.
Pettis, Aldo.
I think it was Bermudez. And he won that fight. Like, that was a terrible decision, but still, Bermudez got him down a bunch in that one.
Andre Feely took him down a few times too. Going back, he was a decent wrestler in his own right. Probably underrated in that regard.
Yeah,
but
he hasn't faced a real wrestler.
And he has basically, his submission game is super limited. I mean, he had the submission win over, I guess it was Cub Swanson, but I mean, let's be real here.
He submitted Feely too. He's got good front headlock series, but not like wrap up a guillotine on a guy as he shoots.
And Khabib builds up a neck.
Yeah. And it's more of like guys get tired and drop their head and are looking for a way to avoid shots to the body, and he's just able to sort of grab that front headlock series and go from there.
Yeah, I think
that's not happening.
I know there was talk about Ortega. I think claims he accepted the fight, but then really Max came in and said, "I'll take it." Probably, just thinking about it, Ortega would have been a more interesting fight.
Yeah.
On paper, just because of what he's capable of.
Yep.
Well, and he's just freaky. He finds stuff, and that makes him game against pretty much anyone he's ever going to be in the cage with.
Yeah.
So
I would be interested to see if Khabib could consistently pass and maintain dominant position against Ortega, because that I think would be very tricky. And if Ortega can keep him in his guards, I'm not sure how much damage Khabib would do from there, because most of his damage comes from advancing position and getting half or side control and then bouncing guys' head off the canvas. So I think that would be actually a very interesting fight.
Yeah, some of those sloppy Khabib shots on Ortega would get pretty interesting, for sure.
Again, we don't know if he has a neck, so...
Yeah,
he needs one to latch onto.
True.
I think that just about does it for this week's episode.
Yeah.
Good card. Fun times.
Yeah.
Got Bradley back.
I guess I should do my show of the week. My Netflix show. I've been doing that. 7 Seconds was an interesting one. Takes place in Jersey City. It's one of those cop killer type of situations with, kind of an underprivileged kid, and there's a whole scandal around it. Cop cover up. Definitely one of those shows, if you get through it, you're going to be pissed off probably while you watch it, but entertaining enough nonetheless. So check that out. podcast to check out. There's a new one on Panoply. It's actually not exactly related, but somewhat. It's called Empire of Blood. It's about a convicted murderer, a crack dealer in New York City, in the Bronx in the 90s, and just kind of goes into the whole story and why they think the trial was kind of wasn't represented properly. But pretty interesting. They use a lot of live audio recordings, and you kind of get more of a flavor of it as opposed to just kind of a rehash story. So, if you're into any of that kind of stuff, check that out. Brad, we're getting towards the middle, the crunch time of LAC season. Give us a little mid-season report.
Hey, I told you guys at the start of the year, Albany they were the team this year.
Are they still number one?
They're still number one. They're the only undefeated team in the country right now.
All that native.
Yeah. They've got some injuries right now. They're a little banged up, but even with their best player out, not Dahoka, the guy I was telling you about, but their senior, Dahoka Nanticoke.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. As a freshman, he's averaging 5 points a game. He's ridiculous. But they've got another guy that's senior that plays attack as well. He's probably player of the year if he can get back healthy and finish up the season. But yeah, they're killing the game. Their face-off guy that I was telling you about, the New York State champion wrestler. If the season finished right now, he would set the record for face-off winning percentage in NCAA history. So it's the Dane train is rolling. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and as always, just sticking with it. Conference play now, so usually that brings some betting success. So we'll just keep the ball rolling.
I like what I hear. That does it, I believe. We'll be back, I believe, next week.
Yeah,
hopefully,
Fox 20.
Hopefully that main card remains intact, or at least that main fight, because Tim Means stepped up to face Carlos Condit. Is that a thing?
I don't know if that's for sure. That's just Wikipedia. I don't know if that's
Wikipedia being wiki, huh?
But we get to
that just engage you.
I believe
stay away from the electrical cords.
That should be a fun card, though. Stylebender's back.
Yeah.
Gaethje, Poirier, Condit fighting. Some good stuff.
Wait, Yushin Okami's facing Diego Lima? That's a thing?
Holy shit.
Holy shit is right.
I hope somebody opens the door and a gust of wind comes through the cage and knocks them both out.
Man. Holy shit.
Friend of the MMA Analysis and Lance Fishel buddy, Ricky Rainey is making his UFC debut. Oh, man, this is getting weird.
He's fighting against Salikov.
Yeesh. Yeah.
Okami Lima has double knockout potential, boys.
Yes.
Yeah, we need a
seriously. This shit has double knockout potential.
Oh, that's scary.
Okay. This is a real thing, and I'm looking at Tapology right now. 57% of people are picking John Moraga to beat Wilson Hayes.
Good.
In that fight.
Good. I hope the betting line says that too.
Yeah,
I hope so. I'm in if that happens. That would be a consensus, I think, Brad.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Interesting, and a whole bunch are picking Tavares to beat Jutko. I think that's competitive, but
and Canadian pound for pound,
Arjan Boulard, yes.
The
Canadian
baby.
monster.
Indo Canada.
He's not white, but
Army of one.
We can still hope.
Yeah. But I'm definitely going to be betting Gaethje in that main event if the line stays where it is.
Oh, I would too.
Yep.
Yep. Dustin likes to shit the bed. He's good at it.
I don't think he can stand up to that pressure like Eddie could.
Yeah,
I don't think so either.
It's going to be some serious fire.
And let's be honest, Gaethje was on his way to winning that fight, so let's just say that.
Gaethje's brain and head is just going to completely explode in a fight. hair.
Oh, yeah. He's going to start seeping at his ear.
Yeah.
Not yet, though.
Not yet. Not yet. A couple more fights.
He's got a few more.
Yep. All right. I'm done.
All right. I'm done, too. Enjoy the fights. It's going to be a good one. And we're going to have a new champion, hopefully.
There has to be. Well, I guess if Max misses weight,
yeah.
That would be the most lightweight division thing ever right now.
That right? It would be. McGregor's going to come in with a cage with his belt. All right, I'm done. Brad, I don't know. All right, have a good night, folks. Enjoy the fights.